Once upon a time, in a small village where the sound of cockcrow and the smell of fresh palm wine filled the air, there was a young boy named Obinna. Life wasn't easy for him. His family struggled to make ends meet. But one thing was clear: Obinna was determined to make it in life. Obinna's father was a palm wine tapper, and his mother sold vegetables at the village market. Even with little, they made sure Obinna went to school. His mother always told him, "Nwam, education is key to your future. You must work hard to escape the life of hardship." Obinna listened. He studied with candles when there was no electricity, fetched water every morning, and helped his father on the farm before school. Through thick and thin, Obinna finished secondary school with flying colors. But getting into the university wasn't easy. He applied and was rejected twice. Still, he refused to give up. After his third attempt, Obinna finally got admission to study education at the Federal University. At the university, Obinna's hard work paid off. He became one of the best students in his class, impressing both his lecturers and fellow students. His journey from the village to the big city wasn't without his struggles, but Obinna stayed true to his values. By the time he finished his degree, Obinna had made his family proud. It was now time for him to serve his nation as a Youth Corper, and he was posted to a university where he would teach as part of his service here. Obinna stepped into the university as a corper teacher, full of excitement and hope. The campus was lively, filled with students bustling from one lecture hall to another, each carrying their dreams and ambition like he once did. He felt proud to be standing on the other side as a guide to these young ones. From the first day, it was clear that Obinna's presence wasn't going to go unnoticed. Tall, dark and handsome with an effortless charm, Obinna quickly became the talk of the female students. His calm demeanor, the way he spoke with confidence in class, and his dedication to his work drew admiration from both students and staff. But what Obinna didn't realize was how quickly that admiration would turn into something else entirely. One afternoon, as Obinna walked through the campus garden, he heard two female students whispering, "See as Copper fine. I swear I must find way enter in life." One said with a mischievous smile. The other replied, "Forget that thing. Me sef don dey plan am already." Obinna chuckled to himself and shook his head, thinking it was just harmless chatter. But little did he know those words were just the beginning. Among the students, there were three who stood out: Chinaza, Amaka and Ngozi. Chinaza was the bold one. From the first day she saw Obinna, she made her intentions clear. Always sitting in the front row during his lectures, she would dress in tight, eye-catching outfits, flashing her brightest smile each time he entered the room. She often asked questions, not because she wanted answers, but just to get his attention. Amaka, on the other hand, was the quiet admirer. She rarely spoke in class, but would linger behind after lectures, pretending to need help with her assignments. Obinna noticed her gentle nature, but thought nothing of it. To him, she was just another student eager to learn. But in Amaka's mind, Obinna was something more, something she was determined to win no matter how long it took. Then there was Ngozi, known as the campus queen. She was used to getting everything she wanted with her flawless beauty, designer clothes, and the power she held over other students. Ngozi believed that Obinna should be hers. Who else can match him? Abeg, all these small girls no reach, she often boasted to her friends. And so the unspoken competition began. Chinaza started bringing food for Obinna to his office, hoping her cooking skills will win his heart. "Copper, I just made this small rice and stew for you. Please enjoy it. I know you are working hard," she would say, flashing him a coy smile. Obinna would thank her politely, not wanting to seem rude, but he found the attention strange. Amaka, though less forward, began writing long notes in her assignment, complimenting Obinna on how inspiring he was as a teacher. "Sir, you are the reason I am so motivated to do well in this course. I hope you'll be proud of my work," she would write at the end of each paper. Ngozi, being the most strategic, decided to pull some strings. She was friends with one of the senior lecturers, and before long, she found herself sitting next to Obinna during staff meetings and university events. Each time, she would lean in closer, laugh louder at his jokes, and even once remarked, "A fine man like you deserves a fine woman by his side." Obinna would smile awkwardly, but inside he was beginning to feel uneasy. Things were getting out of hand. One evening, as Obinna prepared to leave the campus after a long day, he received a message on his phone. It was from an unknown number. "I know you are alone in your office. Can I come and see you?" Obinna frowned, wondering who it could be. Before he could respond, there was a knock at his door. He opened it only to find Chinaza standing there, holding a small cake. "I baked this for you, Copper. I hope you will enjoy it," she said with a soft voice and expectant eyes. Obinna felt a knock in his stomach. This was no longer just admiration. It was something deeper, something more dangerous. He kindly thanked her but firmly told her, "Chinaza, you should focus on your studies. I appreciate the cake, but this isn't right." Chinaza's smile faded for a moment, but she quickly recovered, saying, "Don't worry, Copper. I just want to make you happy." She left, leaving Obinna with more questions than answers. At this point, things were no longer normal. The tension in the air was thick, and Obinna could feel it. The battle for his attention was becoming more intense, but he had no idea how far some of these students were willing to go. Obinna sat in a small, neat office, the cool breeze from the opening window doing little to calm the storm brewing in his mind. He had always been popular, but the attention from the female students was now becoming a problem. This wasn't the quiet, studious admiration he was used to. It was something different, something intense. Chinaza, Amaka, and Ngozi were all playing their own games, each trying to win him over in ways that were becoming harder to ignore. He wasn't blind to it. How could he be? But Obinna had worked too hard to build his life. He wasn't going to risk it for some petty campus drama, or so he thought. One evening, as Obinna locked his office and headed for a small apartment off campus, a car suddenly pulled up beside him. He glanced over. To his surprise, it was Ngozi, the campus queen herself, sitting in the driver's seat of a sleek black SUV. Her long braids were tied up in a ponytail, and she wore a figure-hugging dress that seemed a little too flashy for a casual drive. "Copper Obinna," she called out with a playful smile. "I'm heading your way. Hop in, let me drop you." "Ah, no need, Ngozi," Obinna said, trying to avoid what he knew would turn into a complicated situation. "It's not far. I will walk." "Walk, Ke? In this heat? Come on, I insist. Please. Plus, I have something to discuss with you." Ngozi's voice was so sweet, but her eyes held something else: determination. With no polite way to refuse, Obinna hesitated, then got into the car. The tension was immediate. As soon as he closed the door, Ngozi switched gears, not just in the car but in the conversation. "Obinna, you know I don't like to beat around the bush," she stated, her eyes fixed on the road ahead. "I like you. I am not going to pretend. I don't chase men, but for you, I'll make an exception. Why don't we stop playing games and just make this work?" Obinna's heart raced. He wasn't ready for this. "Ngozi, you are my student, and student or not," she cut in sharply, "I'm not a child, Obinna. We both know there's chemistry between us, or am I wrong?" The air was thick with tension as the car came to a stop in front of Obinna's apartment. For a moment, he didn't know what to say. Ngozi leaned in closer, her hand resting on his arm, her voice dropping to a whisper. "Don't make me regret making the first move. Think about it. You and I could be unstoppable." Obinna, overwhelmed by the sudden pressure, quickly thanked her for the ride and got out of the car, breathing a sigh of relief as he entered his apartment. He thought that was the end of it, but the drama was only beginning. The next day on campus, things took a darker turn. Rumors began to spread, whispers in the hallways, snickering in the classroom. It wasn't long before Obinna heard the gossip himself. "Did you hear? Ngozi and Corper Obinna are close, like really close. She gave him a ride home last night," one student said, not bothering to lower her voice as Obinna passed by. Obinna froze. This was exactly what he has been trying to avoid. It didn't help that Ngozi, clearly enjoying the attention, made no efforts to squash the rumors. Instead, she flaunted her connections to him, making him sit like they were more than just Corper and students. Soon after, Chinaza heard the rumors too. It infuriated her. If anyone was going to get Obinna's attention, it was her, not some spoiled rich girl like Ngozi. Chinaza, with her fiery personality, decided to take things up a notch. One afternoon, while Obinna was in the library preparing his lecture notes, Chinaza stormed in with a look of determination on her face. She slammed her book on the table, staring at Obinna. "Corper, I don't understand. Why are you entertaining Ngozi? She's not serious. I'm the one who truly cares for you." Chinaza's voice was loud enough to attract a few stares from other students. "Chinaza, please lower your voice," Obinna said, his frustration building. "Whatever you are hearing is just gossip. There's nothing between Ngozi and me." "Then why did she drop you at your house? Everyone is talking about it." Chinaza's eyes were filled with a mix of jealousy and desperation. "Listen, Chinaza," Obinna said, his voice firm. "I appreciate your concern, but I need you to focus on your studies. I'm here to teach, not get involved in campus drama." Chinaza wasn't convinced, but before she could say more, Amaka quietly entered the scene, observing from the corner of the library. Unlike Chinaza and Ngozi, Amaka had been biding her time, watching the drama unfold. She knew she couldn't compete with Ngozi's boldness or Chinaza's aggression, but Amaka had a plan of her own, one that involved patience and playing the long game. That evening, as Obinna was unwinding at home, he received a message from an unknown number. "I see everything. Be careful, Corper. Not all your admirers are what they seem." Obinna's heart skipped a beat. Who sent the message? What did it mean? He tried calling the number, but it didn't go through. Was someone watching him? Was it a warning or a threat? As the night grew darker, Obinna found himself unable to shake the feeling that the situation was spiraling out of control. The competition between Chinaza, Ngozi and Amaka was heating up, and it was only a matter of time before someone took it so far. But who? And how would Obinna handle it? Something told him this was just the beginning. He was caught in the middle of a dangerous game, and the stakes were higher than he ever imagined. A few days later, Obinna was preparing for a late-night class when a knock came at his door. He wasn't expecting anyone, especially at this hour. Hesitant, he opened the door to find a man standing there, dressed in an official-looking uniform with dark sunglasses there. Even though it was nighttime, the man's expression was unreadable. "Mr. Obinna, right?" the man said with a serious tone. "Yes, and who you are?" Obinna asked cautiously. "We need to talk, but not here. Get dressed, I'll explain on the way." Before Obinna could ask any more questions, the man added, "It's about one of your female students." A chill ran down Obinna's spine. He grabbed his jacket, locked the door, and followed the man outside. They got into an unmarked car parked on the street. As he drove off, Obinna couldn't help but notice that they were heading towards the police station. What's this about? What's going on? Obinna finally asked, his voice tight and with anxiety. The man looked at him through the rearview mirror, his face still impassive. Ngozi, she's gone missing. Obinna's heart stopped for a moment. Missing? What do you mean missing? She didn't return home after leaving school yesterday. Her parents have reported her missing and we've been asking around. It seems you were the last person seen with her. The man's voice remained calm, but the implication was heavy. Obinna felt a wave of panic rising. Last person? That's impossible. I haven't seen her since she gave me a ride home the other day. This has nothing to do with me. The man kept driving, not responding to Obinna's protest. His silence was unsettling, leaving Obinna to stew in his thoughts. Could it be true? Was Ngozi really missing? And why was he being dragged into this mess? As Obinna arrived at the station, the police questioned him relentlessly. They asked him about every details of his interactions with Ngozi. He explained everything, but he knew the rumors circulating on campus weren't helping his case. After hours of interrogation, he was finally allowed to leave. But as he stepped outside the station, his phone buzzed again. It was another message from the unknown number. You are being watched. Don't trust anyone. Obinna looked around, but there was no one in sight. Just as he was about to dismiss the message as some sort of prank, a thought crossed his mind. Could this be connected to Ngozi's disappearance? Suddenly, he remembered something. Days earlier, Chinaza had barged into the library, accusing him of favoring Ngozi. She seemed more desperate than angry. But what if Chinaza knew more than she let on? Determined to get to the bottom of this, Obinna decided to confront her. But before he could leave, a student approached him on campus the next day, handing him a small envelope. This is for you from someone who wants to help. Obinna opened the envelope, and inside was a photo of himself sitting inside Ngozi's car the night she gave him a ride. What made his heart race wasn't the picture, but what was written at the bottom. You are not the only one in this story, Copper. Watch your back. Obinna's mind raced. Someone was watching him all along. But who and why? Could this be connected to the secret life Ngozi was living? That evening, Obinna went straight to Chinaza's dormitory. As soon as she opened the door, her face went pale. Copper Obinna, why are you here? She stammered, stepping back slightly. You know why, Chinaza? What's going on? Do you have something to do with this mess? Obinna demanded, his patience wearing thin. Chinaza's eyes darted nervously, and suddenly, the confident fairy girl who had confronted him before was nowhere to be seen. She was scared. It's not what you think, she whispered, looking around as if someone might be listening. Then tell me, what am I supposed to think? First, there's gossip everywhere. Then Ngozi disappears, and now I'm getting weird threats. What's going on, Chinaza? She hesitated before finally speaking. It's not me, I swear. I've liked you, yes, but this is bigger than us. There's someone else, someone who's pulling strings, watching us. And Ngozi, she knew too much. Obinna's stomach dropped. Who, Chinaza? Who is watching? Just then, a loud crash came from outside the dorm, as if something heavy had fallen. Both Obinna and Chinaza froze. Chinaza's face drained of color. They are here, she whispered. Before Obinna could ask any more questions, Chinaza grabbed his arm, her grip tight with fear. You need to leave now. You don't understand. You are in danger. We all are in danger. The door behind them suddenly burst open. Standing in the doorway was a figure Obinna recognized. A man he had seen several times on campus but has never spoken to. He was dressed in all black with a calm yet missing expression. "Corper Obinna," he said, his voice cold and steady. "I am afraid you have gotten yourself involved in something you can't escape." Chinaza backed away, her eyes wide with fear. "Please don't do this," she begged. Obinna's heart raced as the man took a step closer. "What do you want from me?" he asked, his voice barely above a whisper. The man smiled, a cruel and twisted smile. "The game isn't over yet, but you are about to find out how deep it goes." And just like that, the game is far from over. Obinna is standing on the edge of a dark secret that might pull him in deeper than he had ever imagined. What is really happening? Who is behind Ngozi's disappearance? And what does Chinaza know? Things are about to take a dramatic turn, and the truth could be more dangerous than Obinna expected. If you are as eager as I am to find out what happened next, you don't want to miss the next chapter of this thrilling tale, make sure to subscribe to the Foxy Story channel. Hit the like button and comment below on your thoughts and theories. Who do you think is behind this mysterious plot? Also, don't forget to share this video with your friends and family so they can join the suspense. The next chapter is coming soon, and trust me, you won't want to miss it. Stay tuned.